With UFC 261 now just a matter of days away, I think the time is perfect to take a moment to focus on the night's co-main event fixture, the women's strawweight showdown between the champion Weili Zhang and the challenger, the former champion Rose Namajunas. Now I realize that the main storyline surrounding this bout right now has come in the form of a selection of comments made by Namajunas that seem to imply that Zhang, as a Chinese fighter, was a symbol of the same form of communism that directly impacted Rose's family in Lithuania, albeit at the hands of the Soviets. But at this stage, you know me, I'm not overly interested in diving too deeply into that matter or the controversy that surrounds it. Indeed, that comment was something that never should have seen the light of day. No matter how she feels, it's a move that borders on PR suicide, and is completely insensitive to Zhang and her placement as champ. But anywho, with that out of the way, I'd rather focus on the fight itself and, in particular, Rose Namajunas' career arc up until this point. Because to put it plainly, Thug Rose is without question one of my favourite fighters of all time, and her ascent to greatness, though not without its dips, has been nothing short of thrilling to experience. And I do feel as though people misread Namajunas as a consequence of her transparency about her issues with mental health in the past. The commonly cited narrative that she's quote-unquote mentally weak does lose its legs as soon as you take one look at her actual performances inside that octagon. And she has had her struggles outside of the cage, that much is clear, and there's absolutely no doubt that she is an eccentric character, but I feel as though people mix up that personal struggle with the product we actually receive when she fights. Her relentless beatdown of Paige Van Zandt was what first truly brought her to my attention as a standout prospect, before her merciless finish of Michelle Waterson made it crystal clear to me that she was on the fast track to the title. I remember watching her shut down Joanna Jędrzejczyk at UFC 217, at the height of the former champion's powers, TKOing her in the first round of a fight that saw many people point to her grappling as her only route to victory. And that win was shocking in a way that is truly rare in this sport. Watching it back, you could hear the cage-side commentators struggling to cope with what they were seeing, with both of Rose's knockdowns of the legendary Joanna coming just as Jon Anik was speaking about Namajunas' need to watch out for Joanna's superior striking. Honestly, go back and watch that fight, it's pretty crazy. But it didn't matter. We all assumed that it couldn't happen, and yet Rose stepped up and brought to the table a style that was far more advanced for MMA, more ingenuitive, and all in all more modern than her opponents. From the get-go, she played with her own rhythm, changing tempo and stances to stifle the champion's ability to read her timing. And once she figured out the opening, she landed with a surprising degree of effectiveness and power for a strawweight. And to those who considered it a fluke, she proved her elite status with another victory over Joanna, this time over 5 rounds in a closer but still incredibly impressive display. If you're enjoying this content, be sure to subscribe to the channel now to stay up to date with our latest uploads, before leaving a comment to let YouTube's algorithms know that we're fast becoming one of the best MMA channels on the platform. At that point in time, I truly believed that we were entering the Thug Rose era of the strawweight division. I don't always get my fight picks right, like all of you, but over the years I feel like I've grown to have a good eye for greatness emerging, and from Rose's aura I could tell she was a different breed than the rest of these strawweights. And in her second defense of that 115-pound title, against the powerful and formidable Jessica Andrade, as soon as that first round concluded, I was convinced that my hypothesis was in the process of being proven correct. Rose looked incredible in there, utilizing every tool in her arsenal to make the comparatively more rigid Andrade look like she had little business striking with her. For a fighter who was once primarily known for her dynamic submission game, all of this was nothing short of shocking and incredibly exciting. But as we all know, it was not to be Rose's night, not even slightly. After a misguided attempt to latch onto a Kimura in the clinch for what was the second time in that fight, the physical specimen that is Andrade used the tie-up to slam Namajunas on her head, hard, and it was a nasty knockout. All credit to Jessica, of course. Not many fighters in the world would have the capability to do that, to perform such a feat of strength, but it worked a treat, and Rose's time as champion came to an end. From there, she began to question her long-term future in the sport, taking a year-long hiatus before returning against Andrade once again, after the Brazilian's shocking 42-second defeat at the hands of the current strawweight queen, Weili Zhang, in the first round. And of course, Rose got the job done at the second time of asking. Indeed, it was a closer fight than their first outing, but personally I was content just to see Namajunas back and looking so good against a tough opponent, and I was even happier to see the title showdown with Zhang booked, because I'm also a firm believer in the greatness of the reigning champion. Weili Zhang is an absolute killer and a proven warrior, and in a stylistic clash against Thug Rose, I do think that her physicality could well be a massive problem for the challenger depending on how this plays out. All in all, all, in my eyes, this bout will conclusively decide who gets to leave with the title of the greatest strawweight fighter of all time. Look, I love Joanna Jędrzejczyk. I think she's an all-time great and a fighter who is deserving of the highest praise. But this division has blossomed in recent years, with a number of hugely compelling talents breaking through. Rose obviously ascended first before Zhang then followed, but given that both women have defeated Joanna, no matter how competitive those fights were, I think this fight deserves to be billed as the meeting of the two finest fighters that the best women's division in the UFC has ever known. And though I'm probably siding with Namajunas to take it on the scorecards, I'm not overly confident in that pick. This is one hell of a fight, ladies and gentlemen. But how do you see this strawweight title fight playing out? And as of right now, who would you call the single greatest strawweight fighter of all time? Do let us know in the comment section below. We always love to hear from you guys. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and a comment before subscribing to the channel so you can stay up to date with all of our latest uploads. Thank you for watching.